What is the language of love? Get that all the time. Would you speak more lovingly to me? And there's a book, and I teach it that love languages. What is your of the five? What is your number one love language? Those are limited love languages. Those are human. Those are sensory. Those are ego. The ultimate language of love transcends words, transcends feelings. It is the ultimate state of connection. It's the acceptance of life, of others, of yourself. It's oneness. It is the state of non-judgment. Really contemplate that idea that the language of love is the language of non-judgment. Wow. When you think about your day and you're thinking about yourself, whether it's when you first get up and you notice how you feel, do you judge it? When you look in the mirror, do you judge what you see? As I look at myself on the screen in front of me, am I judging what I look like? Pretty much not. Because if you've been following me at all, you know that I'm just me. Because I don't want to be anything other than me. I don't get specially dressed up for doing these. I don't put on a facade. I'm learning every day that it's okay to be me. In fact, it's more than okay. It's the only thing that I can be. The second you try to be something that you're not and you don't accept yourself, you're in judgment. And when you're in judgment, you're not going to feel good. When do you feel most comfortable with another person? When they're not judging you. When do you feel most safe? When there's no judgment. When do you feel most free? When there's no judgment. Do you see what I'm getting at? This J thing is something we've been conditioned to believe. I don't know if you have a religious background, a non-religious background. I don't know if you're spiritual. But at the basis of every religion is the idea of oneness. There's an infinite. And I don't care how you look at it, just break that down. If there's an infinite, it means there's nothing other than it. So if you define God by the three O's, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, that means you believe in an infinite. If you believe in an infinite, then there's nothing other than it. So everything is a creation out of it, by it, through it, and is always a part of it. And yet the ego that we have judges. And what does the ego do? It causes us to feel separate. And when we feel separate, we judge. And what does judgment do? It takes us further and further and further away from the ultimate reality that we're one. Now, I'm not saying we're ever going to get rid of contrast. I'm not saying that at all, because contrast is what makes life exciting. It gives life juice. Without contrast, you wouldn't feel nothing. Think about that. You feel nothing. So there's going to always be judgment. But how do you manage that in your life so that it gives you enough freedom to continually expand, to grow, to become more, to experience as much of this life as you can? How do you rise above that? Better yet, here's even a better question. How do you do that today? How do you cut back your judgment just a little bit today so that you can experience love and have a greater experience of life? I don't know what that is for you, but you've got to decide for yourself. Because guess what? The power you're seeking, the wisdom you're seeking, it's right there where you are. But there's so much noise in your mind, you're not willing to listen. Sit back, be quiet, tap into your heart, and listen. It'll let you know the perfect step for you to be a greater expression of love. With that, my beautiful ones, it's a great day to be alive. In fact, it's the only day to be alive. Make it a great one. Much love.